The sophomore quarterback drops back, floats into the end zone, and it's intercepted. Brisker! Wow! Brisker! What a game! Penn State!
Hello and welcome to Trading Twos, a Penn State football podcast. I am Ryan Parsons. I am joined, as always, by my good friend Will Pegler. And Will, it is Backyard Brawl Week.
What's up, man? Happy Hump Day. How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty psyched for the famous Backyard Brawl of Penn State and Villanova, not
Let's go,
Pitt
baby.
in West Virginia.
I know. I was gonna say I didn't even think about us calling it that. I forgot Pitt and West Virginia have their own thing this weekend. Yeah, man. Fired up for Nova. Kind of using midweek to talk through it and do a little preview on the Wildcats.
Yeah, Backyard Brawl, Battle of Pennsylvania, whatever you want to call it. But I think we kind of got FIU mostly out of our system, kind of had a therapeutic session on Sunday, but is there anything else from there that you wanted to address or talk through before we shut the door on that?
Yeah, I'm actually not quite done yet. So my one last thought, because James addressed this on his Monday, as he usually does on his Monday press conference, he'll start with, like we do, kind of final, close the book on the last game, move on to the next opponent. And he said, he hit on this point again, and I'll pull it up so I have it right. He says a lot of good teams lost this past week. And he said that before. They posted a video of James on Roar Plus, which, whatever, doing his post-game speech in the locker room. His post-game speech in the locker room with the leadership council, the captain's next to him, and he said, look, we got to be excited to win. We got to appreciate winning. A lot of good teams lost this weekend. I'm with him on it. Fine. He highlighted it again on Monday, though, and he said apparently on Sundays, I don't know how often he does this, if it's a weekly thing, at the Sunday post-game meeting with the team, he shows a graphic of all of the teams that were supposed to win, so the teams that were favored or expected to win, that ended up losing. And he shows that to the team as a way to sort of remind them, hey, it's hard to win every weekend. Celebrate the wins. I'm with that. But that does not feel very 1-0 mentality to me. Talking about what other teams did. Like, oh, did you guys see Clemson almost lost to Troy? Did you see Florida lost to USF? To be honest, I don't love that. I'm being a bit of, I think I was being a bit of a hard-o in the last episode about not being satisfied with the FIU win. I've toned that down a little bit. I just think James, with the messaging on a lot of good teams lost this weekend, we got to celebrate winning. I think he went a little overboard. So I wanted to highlight that as kind of my last parting FIU thought.
Yeah, I can't fully wrap my head around if that's a good thing or not. I think it's good for fans to say, and I think it's good for James to say to the media to, boost Penn State stock or point out that a win is a win or whatever. But I don't know if that's a good message to send to the team, to your point, because it kind of is like a pat on the back saying, oh, you went up 10-0 to FIU in the first half. That's fine because Arizona State lost or whatever. So this is nitpicking, obviously, but I think I'm with you here.
Agreed. I don't know if I don't love it. I feel like it's not a great thing, and I'm being weird about it, but I just wanted to bring it up since James mentioned it in his own press conference. I was just kind of surprised by it. He's been a lot more open this season so far with the media. I'm kind of just surprised he told the media that. Like, that's something that's fine to do. Like, it just seems weird. I have a feeling, I don't know. Sometimes
it feels like something that a bad football team would say to itself. That and saying like, oh, we found a lot of ways to win this season is like a good way to say that. I think that happened a lot in 2021 when they would squeak out those wins. Well, it would be like, we found a lot of ways to win this season, but it's like, well, maybe you didn't deserve to win.
That's kind of how it feels. I'm with you. It was just weird. It was just something I wanted to bring up. I don't think it's necessarily a horrible, bad coaching moment or whatever, but just surprised he was that open about it and would love to stop hitting on that message so much. And honestly, let's get into it. Let's talk Villanova because I'm ready to get that done. Take care of Villanova, do what Penn State is supposed to do, and then get into Big Ten play. I'm excited about it. And frankly, I even want to talk about that much, the FIU comment, but I just felt like it was worth mentioning.
Well, how would you react if I showed you all the other Penn State podcasts YouTube numbers? It was like, we only got 70 views in this video, but this other podcast got 40, so like it's fine.
Yeah, what a great metaphor. Exactly. It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're satisfied with this.
Yeah. And I know.
Yeah, when I sit down with you every Sunday morning and we go over our advanced listening analytics.
Look, it just sends a weird message. That's all.
Agreed. So I think the FIU mess is kind of behind us. So let's head over to Villanova, right? Penn State opens as 48.5-point favorites. Last time they played Villanova was in 2021. Penn State won that game 38-17 after being 30.5-point favorite. So that was a little bit of a letdown. Penn State is 6-3-1 all time in the series versus Villanova, but that 2021 game was the first time they've played since 1951. In trying to find that statistic, on Villanova's website, they have history of Penn State Villanova, and it's all just Villanova versus Penn, University of Pennsylvania. And then there's the 2021 Penn State game is on there. So it says they're 4-1 against Penn State, but it's just they're 4-0 against Penn, and then they have the one loss to Penn State. So I thought that was kind of funny.
4-0 against Penn isn't bad. I mean, that's a legit Ivy League program, right?
Yeah, that's the real battle of Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Well, no, that's not true. That would be Penn Temple, I think.
I was gonna say
Villanova's not in Philadelphia technically.
Nova's that's like main line, right? Like
yeah, it's actually very contentious. Like whenever the basketball team does well, people are like, "Oh, that's not a real Philly school." But Temple has a big game against Oklahoma this weekend.
Shout out Matt Rule, go Owls. Yeah, man. I mean, Villanova. I actually, the 2021 Villanova game kind of reminded me of this past week's FIU game. Like frustrating, slow. Remember, I think Sean Clifford broke a passing yard record that day because Penn State could not run the ball for shit. I don't know if you remember that. He threw for like 400 passing yards against the Wildcats. So funny enough that our last game against Nova felt similar. But yeah, I mean, it's Villanova, man, and it's not basketball. So I'll be disrespectful in that way and just get that comment out of the way. We're not playing basketball, thank God.
Yeah, that 2021 game, Penn State was still number 6 in the country when they played Villanova. So that was kind of like a canary in the coal mine almost, for it was like, hey, maybe this team is not good. And yeah, they only won by 31 points. 21 points, sorry. And yeah, I mean, this is by far the easiest of Penn State's 3 cupcake games. They have the biggest spread of any of these games. So, but Villanova, you didn't give Villanova respect. Someone asked James at the presser today, his post-practice presser, and was like, "Oh, James, Villanova's not a good tackling team." And James kind of stopped the reporter in their tracks and gave Villanova credit. He asked the reporter, "Oh, based off of what?" And the guy was just like, "Oh, watching film," which was like kind of a funny moment. And then James was like, "No, I'm not biting into that. I'm not swooping down and saying Villanova's not a good team." And they did finish well last year. They a 10-4 record, number 9 in the FCS coaches poll to finish the season, and made it to the playoffs and even won a playoff game. So, kind of two different sports, FBS and FCS at some points. But I mean, they're doing a good job down there and seem pretty excited to play at Penn State from what I've seen.
Look, they went 10-4 last year. They opened the season with a win over Colgate, 24-17. Shout out Barney Amore. You remember him, the former punter, Colgate guy?
How could I forget?
Yeah. So shout out him. Tough loss for the Raiders, the Colgate
Fighting toothpastes.
Ha ha ha! Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. So yeah, I mean Nova. I mean they're an FCS team. I think we know this is a chance for Penn State to get a lot of things right. I think we highlighted a lot of that last week or this past weekend in terms of the offensive struggles. So I'm assuming that's what you and I are both kind of looking for to different points this weekend and then this Saturday afternoon. So not a ton to highlight on the Nova side. Their head coach Mark Ferranti has been there for 39 years, which is cool. Became the head coach in 2017. They've got a quarterback named Pat McQuaid. That's a cool name. And he transferred from Nicholls State. That's a cool name, Pat McQuaid. And So Ryan, this is, I think, the point, and I'm going to alley-oop you here. What is Villanova's defensive coordinator's name?
That would be Mr. Ross Pennypacker. And as heard first on this podcast, is related to Samuel W. Pennypacker, the 23rd governor of Pennsylvania, and the namesake of Pennypacker Hall at Penn State University. 100% confirmed.
Shout out East Halls, man. Shout out East Halls. And to back up Ryan there, we did about 5 minutes of research on that. But Ross Pennypacker is a lifelong Pennsylvania guy. He's coached at several other Pennsylvania schools. It looks like he went to college in Pennsylvania. I mean, he's got to be related. Pennypacker, that is such a specific last name, and he's a Pennsylvania guy. Seems like a Pennsylvania legacy family. If somebody wants to come on and provide documentation that says this is not true, then we'd be all ears. But until then, we are going to call that true.
Yeah, this is like an innocent until proven guilty situation. He's related to Ross Pennypacker, 23rd governor of Pennsylvania, until proven that he's not.
What a great name. Pennypacker.
Yeah. Is that like kind of like a rich boy, like a pennypacker? Is that what that name comes from?
You know, I hadn't even thought about it, but yeah, I mean, you think about last names, like, I mean, that's not just a coincidence, right?
No, he's probably packing pennies.
Like a very financially conscious young man.
Or it could be like a factory worker who was working at the penny press, like packing pennies into the tubes.
Oh.
And rose to fame to become 23rd governor of Pennsylvania.
Dude, that could be that. Like, that was, because I feel like a lot of last names were jobs.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, like, that's an industrial revolution type job. Like, I did 8 hours in the factory packing pennies. Shout out Labor Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe during the bye week, we can, like, do a deep dive into the Pennypacker family.
I kind of want to. I'm going to be all eyes on this defense because of that. I will say, I am also realistically I mentioned this earlier, but they shut down Penn State's run game last time Penn State and Villanova played. The run game is one of the pieces of the offense that I think a lot of people are going to be watching this weekend to see if they can get it right. Namely, the offensive line are looking a little out of sync, maybe Singleton looking a little out of sync. Oh, let's see what Pennypacker dials up, man. Let's see if you get them in tight on offense.
Yeah, to bring this kind of back to earth a little bit, James did talk at his presser this Wednesday evening about how Villanova plays this weird 3-3 stack front. They played the same front in 2021 and said that it gave them problems, which we saw. I think Nevada played a similar odd front, but he kind of made the point that with Jim Knowles' 4-2-5 look, it's kind of hard for them to get practice against a more stacked or odd front. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it's Villanova, so, you know, obviously the talent difference will be there, but the Wildcats gave Penn State trouble last time they played with a similar look. So I would have a feeling James kind of wants to prove something here and get Nick and Katron going against this.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, Penn State's going to win, right? But yeah, I think it's that matter of watching this offense operate. You think they're going to cover the spread? What is it, 38 and a half?
I don't. It's 48 and a half.
48 and a half. That's yeah.
Penn State has not covered the spread yet this season. It was 43 and a half versus Nevada and 41 and a half versus FIU. Nevada one was kind of BS, like a last minute thing, but FIU thing was, you know, that was never really
pure.
Yeah, that was true. 48 and a half is a lot, man.
That's a lot of points to lay for any team.
I also think Penn State's MO against these teams is never either like running up the spread. The last time I can remember them doing that was that Buffalo game where it was like 79-0.
Oh, Idaho. Yeah, they killed.
Oh, Idaho. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Touchdown. Yeah. It's freshman year. Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like that's a ton of points to lay. I mean, I don't know. This team's so weird right now, man. I still back my prediction, 12-0, but FIU game was weird. I think we, as fans, have to just look at this as really the last opportunity before the bye week and before Oregon to just be like, hey, we're awesome in all facets, and we're going to prove that against Nova. Stay healthy, get into the locker room clean. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if the spread's 48 and a half, Penn State would need to score 56 points if Villanova scored a touchdown, which feels like a lot. But also, for you, how many points does Penn State need to score for you to feel confident heading into Oregon? Because after this, we won't see anything, and then boom, there's going to be a top 5 matchup in Beaver Stadium.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a point number because that's dependent on so many factors. I mean, I think more so than points, it'd be good to see Grunk get some run in this game rather than having to have Drew play the whole game and have the first team offense play the whole game, which that would impact point total, you'd think, because if Drew gets pulled halfway through or towards the end of the third quarter, obviously that's going to have an impact on how many points they end up scoring. I mean, that would be I can't put an exact point number on it, but that's got to be your hope as a fan, right? They do enough and get a comfortable enough lead, say like, I don't know, 40, 50 points, probably close to that spread, to put the backups in relatively early that's got to be my number one indicator, right?
Would a better number to track be like Kyron Hudson receptions? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so hard to know what to look for because this is a game where what happened in 2017 against Villanova happened again. I'm going to potentially pick Oregon to win this game. Like FIU is one thing, but like if you struggle against Villanova, which respect, like Wildcats, like they're having a 1-0 and had a great year last year, but like this is an FCS team versus the number 2 team in the country. Like you have to beat the shit out of them, or else I'm picking Oregon to win. Because Oregon just beat the shit out of a real program.
And you know who Oregon has this weekend?
Northwestern.
Yeah.
Who's terrible.
Worst team in the Big Ten, arguably, with Purdue. So yeah, I mean, and if they do that again against the Power 5 team, well, so anyway, you made the point, and I think we're on the same page. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff you could look for, and I actually do, to get really specific, I have an indicator of things feeling better and that I am looking for on Saturday.
Pegler index?
Yes. It's like a weather vane, but it's me and the run the damn ball head. And it's like a flag. It is Drew rushing in for a touchdown. That is like super objective or subjective. And I could believe in him again, even if he doesn't do that. But I do think him rushing for a touchdown is one of the indicators of him feeling comfortable. And I say that because at the West Virginia game last year, when it was a highly anticipated road game, Penn State took care of business. He showed that all of a sudden, whoa, he is comfortable in the pocket. He's comfortable roaming around. He's making decisions quickly. If his second or his third read, isn't there, he bounces out of the pocket and scrambles, breaks tackles. He's done that a little bit this year. I think he did that. I can't remember if it was FIU or Nevada, but he did. He had a run where he kind of ran through a tackle and looked strong. But anyway, I think him running confidently, maybe getting in the red zone and scrambling and rushing one in, that would be an indicator of comfortability and being done overthinking, to which he said he is doing. He said he's doing that after the FIU game. So that's what I'm looking for. And you didn't ask
interesting.
That, but yeah.
See, to me, for that, I think back to Jalen Hurts, who is like the chronic overthinker, like won't take a risk. And if Jalen Hurts is running, that means he's not really seeing the field well, and it's just like, like fuck it, I'm going to take off. So for me, my index would be: does Drew throw an interception, or does he throw an interceptable ball? Or like, I would love to see him just take a 50-yard shot and it gets picked off by a Villanova DB just on a 50-50 ball. I don't know.
You speaking Japanese right now?
I'm a little bit, man. Just a bit.
Talking it deep?
I might be speaking a little bit of Japanese.
And then, by the way, that is a cut back to James asking a reporter or telling a reporter that it sounds like they're speaking Japanese right now when he asked James about chucking it deep during the 2023 season. Just for those of our listeners who are not as wired in as us. I'm with you there too, Ryan. And it's funny, both of these kind of hinge on Drew. Yeah, man, I would just like to see him, and the rushing touchdowns, like whatever, who knows, but just look more comfortable, man. I mean, he said it. He said he's overthinking, and it was so obvious on Saturday against the Panthers. So I don't know what needs to happen for that. Maybe, maybe his girlfriend should be at the game. Maybe that would help him. I don't know, but anything to loosen him up and get him to stop overthinking. I feel like a rushing touchdown would be a good indicator of that. And I'd love to see him celebrate in the end zone and maybe chirp somebody on the way. Maybe get remember the Minnesota rushing touchdown when he like broke the linebacker's shoulder? That was pretty sweet.
I also think about the 2022 Michigan rushing touchdown where it was right before the buzzer at half. And I was like, he kind of flexed on the Michigan defender. So I was like, all right. Yeah, if he like hits a celly, that would be like, all right, like he's got swag back. But also, dude, this is like Villanova. Like, what are we saying?
No. I mean, it's okay. Like I like that. That's what this game is. We like they unfortunately they put themselves in a position where people feel a little bit uncomfortable. But they have done that, and it's time to just show you've got their swagger back. If they look, you win 70-0. Like we're not going to be like, okay, we're winning the national championship. It's back on 100%. But we will feel okay that this team has what it takes. They've got the preparation and the experience and the comfortability, whatever you want to say, to do it. I think that is what this weekend is about.
Yeah, we have to repay the point debt that we incurred against FIU. Penn State is in debt. Like they went into debt offensively against FIU, only scoring 34 points. So now they have to go above and beyond to repay that debt and make it like everything to be even.
You got to pay the piper or the penny packer, maybe.
You got to pay the penny packer, dude. I want to see Drew, like, I want him to have a penny packer mentality. Like, I want him to be stuffing pennies into penny holders.
Yeah.
Like, hard hat, 8-hour shift, like, throwing dimes, running in for touchdowns, maybe an interception. But yeah. Does that make sense? Repaying the FIU debt?
Yes. 100%. Yeah, I'm with you. There was a lot left to be desired. So it's time to you've already said it.
They got to punch a little bit above the average non-conference game to make people feel better.
Yeah, they do.
But also, dude, like, they could win this game like 21-0 and then beat Oregon by 2 scores. I don't think at the end of the day it actually really matters. It's just more of a confidence thing. I mean, it's a confidence thing for fans and, media writing about the team, but I think also the team internally could use a boost of confidence because no matter how good you think you are, like, I'm sure they're feeling a little bit, I don't know. Actually, I have no idea, but I think it goes internally and externally.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, and that's sort of, well, no, we were talking about the 1-0 mentality thing earlier. I think James does truly one of the better jobs around the country being his guys ready and prepared and locked in. I do think he does, but you're going to get up differently for FIU and Nova than for Oregon if you're a player. You just are. And there's no denying that. There's going to be a mental difference. Yeah, could that happen again this weekend? Yes, but I think that is what we've said in 5 different ways now. We want them to, go about your business professionally and just be ready to roll. And this is the last chance. This is like a dress rehearsal for Oregon, right? So treat it like that. I guess is what the point is. Is there anything else specifically offense, defense, special teams that you have thought about that you'd like to see that would make you feel better about it?
Yeah, there were 2 specific things I wrote down. One we kind of touched on, which was the odd front that James mentioned. See how Nick and Katron respond to that. But also, I wanted to see if Penn State's corners get tested at all this game. Because the first 2 games, I mean, we weren't really talking about them. I think we both said, if you don't hear their names, that means they're probably doing a good thing. And neither Nevada nor FIU were taking shots at Penn State's cornerbacks. So it's like, yeah, they're having good games. They look good in practice, but they haven't been tested yet. So I would be interested to see. I mean, I doubt Villanova would test them, but I would be interested to see if there is a situation in which one of the corners gets put into a one-on-one situation and makes a play to kind of do a little bit of proof of concept there. And James admitted this at the presser today that they haven't been tested yet. He said basically, like, we can't control it. I mean, you can schedule harder opponents, I guess, but it's just kind of how it is. I would be shocked if Villanova scored 17 points like they did in 2021, but would like to see that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I guess it's like the old adage in football. If you're not talking, it's like the kicker. If you're not talking about the defensive backs, that's a good thing. They really haven't been tested that much. But yeah, maybe a deep shot, an interception. I think Zaki made a great play against FIU on Saturday. That was probably one of the bigger highlights from the secondary so far this year. I'd look for that too. I wouldn't expect Villanova to take a lot of shots. It's a matter of athletes. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I especially before Oregon, which I mean they got some of the fastest players in the Big Ten and in the country, as we saw in the Big Ten championship last year. So yeah, it'd be a good kind of proof of concept, as you said, or a good, I guess, testing ground before that game on Saturday night, 2 weeks from now.
I mean, has anyone said AJ Harris's name all season?
I know. And he's supposed to be, I mean, he's being talked about as a early NFL draft pick.
Which
like first
he is so far by all intents and purposes, just because hasn't been talked about. I understand with Elliot Washington, like the guy, they haven't been looked at really. And part scheme, part them locking it down, part how other teams are preparing for Penn State. So we'll be keeping an eye on if Villanova does anything differently, but I'm not expecting it.
Me neither. I think it's a fair call out, but I wouldn't expect it either. I don't think we're going to learn a lot about a lot of the. I think we've said this. There's not a ton to learn until Oregon. I guess that's a ton for the coaches, but for a media and fan perspective, other than like seeing freshman snap counts, seeing guys that might play a role down the line, who's going to redshirt, who's not, depth pieces. In terms of like the starting stars, it's hard to see a lot, but no, I like that as something to look out for, maybe.
Yeah, kind of just like filling dead air in here for a few weeks, and then the bye is just going to be, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It just kind of sucks that it's all conjecture until Oregon comes to town. But I mean, they've been impressing so far. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if that was closer to a pick'em at game time.
No matter what happens this weekend, I agree.
Yeah.
I will say one more thing on Villanova. I don't think there's a ton of. There's several other details to talk through on these guys. Their punter is 33 years old. A transfer from East Carolina University. His name is Luke Larson. He is from Australia. Do you think he's liking Philly as a 33-year-old Australian?
Dude, he definitely doesn't. He definitely doesn't live anywhere. I mean, he definitely just lives in like Radnor or something. Like, he probably has, like, a host family that's just, like, a suburban home that he's just, like, living in.
But he's 33.
Like, did he have a job? Like, does he have money? Like, maybe he's just, like, renting out, like, a sick place on the main line.
He has a sweet NIL deal.
Like, do you think he's been to Philly, like, into the city?
He's just, like, going, yeah, I don't know. He's, like, going to, like, Ocean City on the weekends. And, like, like Stone Harbor and, like.
Does he have, like, an Instagram account, you think?
Probably,
he's 33, dude.
Luke Larson.
Like, do you think he like went to the Liberty Bell at least? Like, definitely not.
I don't know.
He posted one picture of just him in the Villanova
he's definitely 33, which I still don't know how that works, but good for him. But anyway, something I wanted to call out. I would hope we see a lot of him on Saturday based on Penn State's defensive performance.
100%.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. That's so funny. He definitely has not been to the city.
I had to bring it out, right? Yeah. I know. I feel he's probably been. I mean, how far is Villanova from like Philadelphia proper? Like,
kind of far. Let me type it in right now to Google Maps. This is great podcasting.
Oh, we could just talk us through it when you see it.
So I'm looking at it right now. It says it's a 27-minute drive right now, which there's no traffic. You got to head up 76. There's always going to be traffic there. Right now, 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, probably not. You could, I mean, the train, it is pretty easy to get there via train. It's literally called the main line because, like, it's the main line. You could take it right to the Villanova stop. Like, when I was touring Villanova as a student, it was like, you know, you're not in the city, but you get on the train, you go right there. I don't know. He should come visit.
Whatever, man.
If he's listening, I'll, like, take him to Angelo's.
Or
but he's also 33.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
He'd probably be more into like Monks.
Yeah. Get him at Monks, dude.
Yeah.
Get him. I bet they have an Australian beer there, make him feel at home a little bit.
Yeah, get a Foster's. That was my Australian accent.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, anyway, I think that's it on Villanova, right?
All right, that's previewing Villanova.
I mean, honestly, like there's not like I think Drew looking comfortable. Probably Nick falling under that category too. Those are the two guys that have looked like they're overthinking. That is what I'm looking for, and the defense to keep doing their thing. And I think that's what those are the two main things to cover, or the couple of main things to cover for Saturday.
Yeah. I wish this game was at Villanova.
I know you said that last week. That'd be kind of cool.
I think their stadium like has a track around it.
That'd be kind of fun, dude.
I know.
That's such a sick vibe.
I mean, it would be interesting because they would just. It looks. I'm looking up the capacity. It's probably less than 5,000 people.
Maybe we should get a prop bet going on it, like Rutgers.
Oh, 12,500. I mean, I don't know. Make it like a little thing. Like they could make a lot of ticket revenue.
Pack the Palestra, like the Palestra.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it'd be the same thing. Pack Villanova Stadium.
That's what it's called, Villanova Stadium.
Yeah,
I like that. I got no problem with Villanova. I know a lot of people that went there.
I don't either.
Anyway, I think that's good.
No comment on if I applied or got into that school.
Whatever.
I'm not. I didn't.
Yeah, it's fine. Who cares? Villanova's a good school, but like whatever.
My grandpa went there, so I grew up a Villanova basketball fan.
Yeah. Well, I like Villanova hoops.
I actually grew up a Villanova football fan.
Jesus Christ. We'll cut
No,
that.
I'm kidding. I didn't.
Okay. All right.
To be honest with you, I didn't know they had a team until 2021. Lifetime fan.
I didn't either. I couldn't believe they were on the schedule.
I feel bad being mean to them.
We're not even being mean. It's just a comment.
Just
They can point fun at us at basketball all they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
Their basketball team is awesome. I guess I don't know how much revenue that brings them compared to Penn State football. But yeah,
probably like harder to get into, like academically.
Anyway, I think the main prop we're looking at this weekend for you and I are Parsons Pegler props. Katron, I think, is going to boom again. I think he scores 2 touchdowns. I think we get to 4 booms. Book
Sure.
that. You down with that?
Yeah, want to say that into the camera?
Yeah, I've got Katron Allen reaching pay dirt twice on Saturday against the Villanova Wildcats. 3:30 p.m. kickoff on FS1.
Will, I could not agree more.
I hope that happens. We got to
All right, let's clip that.
Clip chat. And then, so I think that's it for props, really. I did want to get into freshman snaps. You're killing me now.
It's been a murder, dude.
Do you want to talk through what you've got here? Because
yeah. So we're in the same spot as last week, where we each only our top 2 guys have played. I got Chaz and I got Darius Dixon. They're both playing a lot. I've got 97 total, and then your combination of Kobe Howard and Ivan Kamaju are only at 41. So I don't want to say it's over after 2 weeks, but I would be down to like reset for the second half of the season if you wanted to at some point.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, that horrible. We're trying to start a podcast and like our first segment sucks.
We could just like scrap it.
I'm hoping. Kamaju and Kobe Howard didn't get any run. By the way, I think that's true. I couldn't find any Kobe Howard snaps on Saturday, which I was surprised by. So yeah, I'm stagnant at 41 total snaps.
I wonder if he had like a bump or a bruise.
Bump or a bruise. Yeah, maybe.
It would be weird for him to go from 22 to 0.
Yeah, Howard.
But they also kept the ones in all game, so
I know.
Not all game, but it would. You would think at that last drive he would have at least gotten in.
You know how they say that though? Like, oh yeah, he's got a leg, like in hockey. Like, yeah, he's got a shoulder.
Yeah,
he's got an arm.
He's got like a finger.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think hopefully we'll get more freshman run this weekend based on how Penn State takes care of business in the first half, etc. Yeah, man, I feel like we've kind of exhausted everything we wanted to talk about. I know this has been shorter. Anything else you want to add on Villanova specifically or this weekend?
No. I'm not stoked to watch the game, to be honest with you. No, I am. I'm kidding. It's just like get me to Oregon.
Look, we're back to a 3:30 kick, which I like. 3:30 kicks are really fun. And maybe that'll change everything. Maybe the guys will be awake, napping a little bit. Anthony Donko will have like his waffle and pancake and bacon breakfast. You see that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
The line. He'll have much more time to consume his behemoth breakfast. I think the
We gotta
guys
get a Roar Plus video of him eating that.
What do you say?
We gotta get like a Roar Plus video of him like making and eating that breakfast.
Maybe we could get that exclusively, the Trading Twos podcast.
Yeah.
Breaking. Yeah, man, I'm excited to watch. I like FS1. I don't know who the commentators are. And around college football, there are some big games happening. I know we already mentioned I will be watching Oregon Northwestern, unfortunately, because I'm scared of what is going to happen there. They might drop another 70 burger on the Wildcats, which I'd feel bad about because Northwestern is in like shambles right now. This whole Fitzpatrick situation, their former coach, and they paid him a lot of money, and it's just a mess. So I feel bad for those guys. I will be watching that though. But also we've got Georgia Tech against Clemson, which is fascinating because Georgia Tech is really a team. A lot of people are picking them as a 12 seed in the playoff or even higher. I'm fascinated by those guys, and they've got a chance to kind of prove it against a shaky Clemson team, honestly.
I don't know what to make of Clemson. I don't think anyone does either, because which goes the same way for LSU, because it's like, okay, LSU beats Clemson, and then Clemson almost loses last week. It's like, oh, are both of these teams terrible? Or, yeah, so this is going to be kind of, I think, a good litmus test. So, yeah, I mean, it's these early season games are fun because you kind of get to do some this team beat this team, this team beat this team, and do math on who's actually good and who's not. So, yeah, that'll be a fun one to watch. And that game last year, if you remember, like went to super overtime, and the Georgia Tech Georgia game. So, hopefully, it's a similar, when these two teams play, it doesn't really matter. Throw the records out.
They don't like each other very much. Would hate to see Cade Klubnik struggle. Kind of a Drew Aller comp guy. That would suck. Would hate that.
Yeah. Should we check in on the Heisman race?
What's that?
Should we check in on the Heisman odds?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Heisman odds, according to unnamed sportsbook, until we get a sponsor of a sportsbook. Would you take a sportsbook sponsorship?
Depends.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Carson Beck's leading the way. Mateer. So it's Carson Beck, Mateer, Nussmeier, and then Oregon's Dante Moore are all tied at plus 1,000. Arch just kind of creaked back up there. He's at 1,300. And then Drew, Gunnar Stockton, Jeremiah Smith, and then Devin Dampier from Utah are all tied at 1,800. So they're kind of taking Klubnik out of this point. Mateer's got a big game at Temple this weekend. Would like to see how he handles the link. But yeah, man, things could go south for Clemson fast.
Yeah, man, agreed. I think the Klubnik stuff is interesting and a guy we'll watch it kind of throughout the year in comparison to Drew. One other game I wanted to just mention we've got our eyes on before we close out for the week and check in with you guys after Nova. Big Ten Familia. Wisconsin, Bama. Wisconsin got cranked by Bama last year. Bama's in a weird place right now as a program. I saw a lady saying if she won the lottery, she'd buy out DeBoer, which is hilarious. This could be interesting, man. I think they're in Tuscaloosa, which not great for our brethren. But hey, man, go Badgers.
Yeah, if they pulled this one off, I think DeBoer would get fired potentially. I don't think he would make it back to the locker room after the game. But it would be a cool look for the Big Ten. I mean, it feels like there's kind of a pissing contest between the Big Ten and the SEC recently, so I'll be pulling for the Badgers.
Imagine what Paul Feinbaum would say.
Oh my God.
He'd have to come on the Trading Twos podcast and release a statement.
Yeah.
Paul.
Saban would start saying stuff about like, yeah. What happened?
That when people call in, they're like, come on, Paul. Oh, Feinbaum. That guy's crazy.
He's crazy.
All right, man. Does that feel like a good place to shut things down? I feel like we've talked about everything we wanted to.
Yeah. And then I think USF Miami is kind of the other game people are looking at. If USF somehow beats Miami, they can take Penn State's number 2 spot for all I care at that point. But they seem kind of a shoe-in to be the group of 5 team. So if Penn State ends up with a certain playoff seed, we might want to keep an eye on USF, get some advanced scouting going on there. But yeah, I think that's it for the Around the Horn CFB preview.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, that's our version of it. If you don't like it, Sorry, but I think everybody likes it. That was a fun little recap of the games we're watching. Yeah, man, and let's lock in. Let's have some fun. It's a 3:30 kick. Have a nice morning. You don't have to be like crazy locked in, but check Twitter. Start watch game day. Get into
Get
it
a
a little
coffee
bit.
in you.
Go for a walk. Get a coffee. Get a run. Do whatever you do.
Get a croissant.
Take your dog for a walk and get a croissant. And then start settling your couch at 3. Get FS1 on. I don't know who's on the call, but I'm sure it's a solid kind of B Fox crew, which I honestly like.
Yeah, this would be a good farmers market weekend.
Mix it in.
Kind of go with the lady. Be like, oh, this game. Let's just this morning's about us. Let's go down to the farmers market.
Yeah.
Let's get a coffee, take our time, and then boom, 3:30 kick.
I know usually for these Penn State games, I know because it's a huge part. I like to be playing it in front of the couch an hour and a half before the game, get ready. And usually I would. And Villanova went 10-4 last year. So this is a big game.
I'm stressed.
I love going to the farmer's market so much and going to the pumpkin patch. That's what we're going to do this weekend. Really,
I advance ordered pumpkin spice lattes to the Starbucks. So we're going to go pick those up.
Yeah.
Going to put on some flannels. And then next weekend is a bye week, so it's kind of 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
Kind of getting ready for Oregon, because Oregon's going to be a stress fest all day.
Yeah. Oregon, you're not there. You're not a present human being on Saturday. You're not a guy. You're stressing about Dante Moore and is Penn State going to get 500 yards put up on them at the whiteout? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
that's not a pumpkin patch game. No. All right,
guys.
That segment was me role playing having a girlfriend. Okay, do you want to wrap up here, man?
Let's wrap it up, dude.
All right, let's call it. That was our Villanova preview. Should have learned a lot about the Wildcats. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. We appreciate the support so far. Go ahead and drop a like and a comment on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Spotify, drop a like there as well. Follow us. Give us a follow on Twitter as well at Trading2PSU. And yeah, we'll see you Sunday for a Villanova recap, hopefully with another 1-0 win in the cap.
Thank you, guys.